Hello everyone, welcome to Whack Comics. I'm here with my co-host, as always, Tyler. How you going, man?
Oh my gosh, yes!
This is amazing. I just want everyone to know this wouldn't happen on anyone else's stream.
No, it would not. Oh my god, it would be frowned upon by most people.
Only the best content over here.
Hey, we go live.
Oh, wow.
And earthquakes happen.
No, you're not.
Oh shit.
Oh, well, it's about that time of the show, right?
Oh, must be. Hey, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm always ready. Hello, everyone. This is Whack Comics, and I'm here as always with Lee.
Hello.
And our special guest, Manny, the writer of KRUDO.
How you going, Manny?
Holy crap! I think I just had a flashback from the '90s. That was an awesome intro. You guys really triggered something in my psyche.
Oh wow, thanks heaps, man.
I don't even remember doing hallucinogenics, but all of a sudden I felt like I was doing them. So right on, man. Hey, it's gonna be that kind of podcast. Let's roll, man. Let's do it.
Lee just made that too. It's just a bunch of like a mashup from different things we've collabed in.
Yeah,
nice.
It was a little time consuming finding all the clips and putting it together, but it was well worth it. Lots of fun.
Looks like fun. It looks like fun. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem, Manny. So do you want to start by telling us about how you got into comics and tell us a little about KRUDO and your Kickstarter campaign?
Yeah, for sure. In terms of how I got into comics, it's just just like anybody else, as a fan first, right? When I was a kid, I joked that I went straight from Calvin and Hobbes, and then one day I found my brother's Predator Concrete Jungle under his bed. So I went straight from Calvin and Hobbes to Dark Horse Predator. So I had a pretty quick transition into some interesting comics. I've been a fan ever since. As a kid growing up in the '90s, big fan of Wolverine and Punisher. And then I found Sin City and Spawn pretty early on. And one of the most inspirations, actually, in terms of this type of media was Spawn's HBO series. Those Spawn monologues and that whole stylized production really resonated with me. I also mentioned I was a big Sin City fan, and I love the Marv monologues. So I've always kind of had a creative bent. I do, I play instruments and write, and I've always made something ever since I was a little kid. So it was just a really natural thing for me to start making comics. I wrote a lot of short stories, and KRUDO was kind of one of the first short stories that I liked, that I thought was interesting, that had some legs. So I kind of developed that a little bit. So here we are today, and KRUDO is a thing, for better or worse. And
it's
just
for
a little
better.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we don't know yet, just to a little bit about KRUDO. KRUDO is an orangutan, so it's a story based on the internal monologue of an orangutan who's raised by the United States military and gets dropped into the Vietnam War. So it's all about an orangutan who's just like super nuts and is stuck behind enemy lines in Vietnam. And he loves America. He really hates his situation. He can't wait to go back to have a picnic on the beach with some barbecued ribs. But he's stuck in the Vietnam War, and the Vietnam War is like one of the craziest times that I can think of in human history. So it creates a really interesting backdrop for us to explore some crazy stuff. We have 3 issues published, and we just launched our Kickstarter last Thursday for episode 4. And we're really, there you go. Yeah, thanks. Represent. I'm glad you got a copy. I'm glad we were able to get that to you.
Oh yeah.
Episode 4 is on Kickstarter right now. We're fully funded, so that's going to happen. So number 4 is definitely the craziest one we've ever done, and we'll see how it goes. We're just going to publish it and send it out, and whatever happens.
We're just going to publish it.
I love the pitch. I love the pitch with the orangutan. What made you decide like on an orangutan as like your animal of choice? It wasn't character.
That's that's a good question. It wasn't a decision. I've loved orangutans ever since I was a little kid. Like when you're a kid, you have to do reports on stuff, and like there was a report I remember, it was in second grade, where you have to pick an animal and you do a report on the animal. And I did a report on an orangutan. It was just a very natural thing for me because I love the orangutan. I just love the way they move. I love how smart and intelligent they are. I mean, they're the closest thing to people. I mean, I often say that people are just people are just apes with clothes and money. So orangutans, I really relate to, and for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but I've always done that. So like some of my first animal drawings as a kid was of an orangutan. And so it wasn't really a decision. It was just kind of like, yeah, of course, El Crudo, is going to be, or if I was going to write something from an animal's perspective, of course, it was going to be an orangutan.
Nice.
He was always meant to be an orangutan from
Yeah.
the start.
Yeah, it wasn't a decision. It was just kind of, just kind of what I can write. I mean, you got a kid who loves orangutan. His favorite movie is Predator and RoboCop. He's going to write a book about it, That's just the natural evolution of those variables kind of meeting each other in a brain.
My favorite animal is a platypus. I've got a little stuffed platypus here.
Yeah,
and, I don't know how it would go as well with a platypus as an orangutan. Like, I'm glad your favorite animal is an orangutan.
Well, I mean the orangutan might be better for like an arboreal war story, but the platypus might, it might have some inclinations toward a different type of story. That's the best part about indie comics is that you can make a story about anything. And that's what I love about indie comics. And that's why I'm not, that's why we're really going as crazy as possible, because that's what indie comics is all about. Dude, make the craziest thing you want. You got an idea for a platypus doing whatever? Dude, it can happen, man. Indie comics is the place to do it. It can happen.
Yeah, that's one thing that really drew me into indie comics is like you can make a story like this and not have to worry about CGI in a movie or TV show, and you can have an artist bring it to life and it seem more real even than like a TV show or movie.
Yeah, the budgets are a little bit lower. We've always thought of El Crudo as in terms of a cartoon as well. We actually did an animated short, 6-minute short for El Crudo. We've
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we've I like hear the voice of El Crudo. I give him like this gritty, like Philadelphia accent. And the movements, I love the ways orangutans and apes move. So that movement part is really tough to capture in comic book format. I mean, Zeros does a great job, and so I'm stoked to be working with some awesome artists on this project. But yeah, I think all of these media kind of mix together, and indie media is at a renaissance today. I think of it in terms of like a platinum age in indie media. And so, we're so excited to be a part of it, and, making cool stuff that's, that you don't have to like submit to an editor, or like, you don't have to worry about, meeting deadlines, and you don't have to worry about appeasing a specific audience. You can just make whatever the crap you want. That's awesome. And indie comics is definitely a great outlet for that. So we try to leverage that as much as possible.
If you didn't know for sure, you can definitely fucking cuss on here too, by the way.
I'm naturally, if you see, I have this quiz where it says profanity. You take the El Crudo quiz to see if you like the book, and it says profanity is the effort of a feeble mind, blah, blah, blah. And I disagree 100%. So profanity has its uses, and I will use it accordingly. So thank you, Tyler.
Me and Lee are feeble as hell.
Right on.
So how did you meet Zeros, or how did you find him, or to get on this project?
Yeah. So with EK, I mean, with El Crudo, I wrote it as a short story first. So it's a short story. It has, beginning, middle, and an end. I'm more of a experimental kind of free thinking kind of writer. So I had this huge body of work, and I saw that it had some legs. I pitched it to a couple animation studios, and they had some interest. I pitched it to a couple other people in different venues, and they had some interest. We couldn't get anything going, unfortunately. So I realized that, there might be some, there might be some other people that might like the story, and the best way that I know how to bring it to life is with comics. I put out a Craigslist ad, believe it or not, and I got about 15 different responses really quick. And of those 15 responses, I sent out a reply saying, "Hey, I'll pay you $5 if you just storyboard one page." So I wanted to get people's, I wanted to send them a page of my writing and see kind of how they interpreted it. I got a bunch back. A lot of people didn't respond. That's one of the things that you'll find a lot of times is that if you add like one other barrier of difficulty, the people that are like really on top of it, the people that are really, go-getters, they'll overcome that. So I made something super simple. I said, "Hey, I'll pay you $5. Send me a storyboard with, I think it was like 8 panels. Doesn't have, it can be chicken scratch. I don't care. It can be anything." I got a bunch of I got maybe, like I said, 50% of the people responded to that, and I paid them all. But Zeros sent me something that looked really interesting, and he also said in his email, he said, "Hey, I've never done a comic before, but I am a student of art, so I'm very interested, and I look forward to hearing from you soon," or something like that. So the fact that he said that he was a student of art was really intriguing to me because I'd never made a comic before. So in our first meeting, I said, "Hey, look, man, you've never made a comic before. I've never made a comic before. So no matter what happens, whatever we make is going to be unique." You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be like everything else. And that might be good. That might be bad. We don't know. But at least we're gonna make something. And so Zeros was the man, and he saw what I was doing, and I think we were able to connect on a lot of major points. And we made number 1, we made number 2, we made number 3, and now we got number 4. And it's just a fun project. I mean, at times we're at each other's throats, because that's the nature of it. But it's super fun to create something like this. And Zeros has been an awesome partner. Really happy to have him. So it's been a pleasure. I wish he could be here today. He's been on a couple streams in the past, so hopefully he can come on some next ones. But yeah,
that's really funny. Craigslist, I would have never expected that answer.
Yeah, same. That's a really cool answer, to be honest.
That is really neat. Yeah,
it shows that if you really want to get something done, you'll get it done by any means necessary. If it's a Craigslist ad, so that's cool, man. I love your you go get it attitude. Like you weren't letting anyone stop you from putting this comic out. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, before EK1, I didn't even have a Twitter or a Facebook or an Instagram. I'm super paranoid about my digital footprint because I'm in data analytics. That's what I do as a profession. So I mean, I have like a flip phone. Like I'm super paranoid about that. So I don't have any of those social media. But now that I'm in social media, I realize that there's tons of talented people out there. But yeah, I think that's something that's unique about our work is Zeros and we're not in that community. It's probably been a detriment to us financially, but I think we're able to make a creative product that's unique, that stands out. And if the content resonates with people, well, then they're going to dig it, because Zeros is the man. He's bringing some this kind of grindhouse style, just this kind of just grittiness that we were looking for, and I think he nailed it. So yeah, I'm really happy to be working with Zeros, and who cares how we met, Craigslist or whatever, or on a.
No, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. He has really gritty, a really gritty art style, which is perfect for like the Vietnam War and all that. Super cool.
Got a good question from Raider here. He's asking if you're hoping to be picked up by any publishers such as Image or IDW to crack into the mainstream, or are you happy to continue to do your thing through Kickstarter?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't give a crap about getting picked up. I don't want to get picked up by Image or IDW or anybody. We just want to make crazy stuff, and that's what it is. We're just going to make crazy ape indie comics. So no, I don't want to get picked up. I think that's not something that we're trying to do. The hardest part about not getting picked up is that I had a friend in the industry tell me that like these different publishing houses are like clubs. They already have like groups of people and followers and communities. So we don't have any of that, right? So we're if we were to join one of those groups, we'd get more eyeballs, and that would be awesome to get more eyeballs on our project. But I mean, honestly, like I don't want to submit our work to anything. I don't want to try to get anything approved. We just want to make just crazy ape indie comics. And if we can build the community and build some followers in the meantime, that's what we're going to try to do, right? So that's where the major work for us is not just making rad, crazy ape indie comics, but also finding the audience. Because I have no intentions of trying to be a writer at IDW or anything like that. That's not our goal at all. We have a story to tell, and we're trying to tell that story.
Yeah,
So that's what it is.
I want to show, like, I don't know if you can see the El Crudo dropping in right there. Super cool.
Head first, my man.
Yeah.
Only way to go.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that idea as well because it feels like you'd be a little bit more focused as well. Like you're focused on the product instead of focusing on we've got to get it to this publishing house, sort of thing.
Can you imagine the Whack Comics YouTube channel and like trying to get it picked up by like entertainment television or something like that? I mean, imagine the stuff where you'd be like, should I really put that out there? I don't know if this customer, this people would like it. I'm all about freedom and artistic expression, and that's what I'm about with El Crudo, and it's nothing other than that. It's not anything else. So
what are you trying to say about Whack Comics, Manny?
I'm saying that if you guys try to sell Whack Comics to entertainment television,
I'm just messing.
I'm saying I would go to ETV and be like, hey, I got something you guys might be interested in. You might not get a response. Is all. It'll go to an intern's desk, and even the intern will file it and be like, all right, let's see. No, your style, man. It's all about style, and it's about the content of what you want to put in, right? It's not about compromising. It's about putting some crazy content that you want to make.
That's yeah. Love it. I've got the Kickstarter page up. I think I'll share the screen, and we can have a look through it, and you can talk about it a little bit more if you want. Okay, let's go through it with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. My boss is blowing me up. 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Oh no, we're good. All right, cool. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. I appreciate it.
When you first got in, did you consider drawing yourself or anything like that? No,
I'm a horrible artist. I'll show you how I draw. I mean, I draw like this, dude. Like this is like my drawings. Like it's pretty gnarly, I don't know, a lot of chaos. So I have like for me, EK is very visual. I mean, I've always written very visual. I think because I'm a fan of movies first. So I don't have the patience to draw. I really don't. I used to draw as a kid, and I'm okay at it. If I see some of my drawings of when I would copy, Spider-Man or Wolverine or Iron Man or whatever, they're not bad. I see those drawings when I was like 7, 8 years old. Maybe 10 years old. They're pretty good. But I just don't have the patience. I realized I just like have to keep drawing. So I like to contribute in the page and panel layouts and stuff like that. So like all of this stuff I've drawn and I work with the artists, in this case Zeros, to finalize it. But yeah, I'd rather draw this page 4 or 5 times to make sure that like the composition's cool and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because for me, like the expression and that emotional resonance that I'm trying to get on that page is what's important. So that's what I focus on, and not necessarily like Zeros. I mean, he has such great style. He could paint. He can do all these different things. So that I just don't have that kind of personality. And that's why that's why it takes a team, So no, I am no way qualified to draw El Crudo.
How is he drawing it? Is he doing it digitally or?
Yeah, so we've been using Clip Studio. We started in Photoshop and we moved to Clip Studio. And then we have other artists. I've been working with German Nobile and Andres Ponce, and I believe they're also using Clip Studio. I don't think they're using Photoshop anymore. So yeah, Clip Studio is pretty awesome.
This was the same page I showed to Lee right before we got on, because I thought that page was awesome. Right when he drops in right on somebody. This is great.
Those 3 panels are really cool.
Yeah, that one I wanted to. So since EK1 is like new to everybody, you know. I wanted to make sure that we included some elements, and that's like an old traditional style of like sequential art, you know. You have like 3 of the same images. And so yeah, so that was the motivation behind that one. This is one of my favorite pages. This is where EK realizes that he's stuck behind enemy lines and he might have to be chilling for a while. So once you get through EK1, most people at the end of EK1, they think that EK2 is just going to be a bloodbath, because I leave it off in like the middle of we leave off in EK1 in the middle of combat. So everybody thinks that EK2 is just going to be the shoot 'em up, you know, monkey orangutan in not monkey ape orangutan in the jungle chopping fools. And so this is when we really kind of flipped the switch and said, hey, you know, we're trying to do something a little different. We're trying to do something a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more interesting, and not necessarily just to shoot 'em up.
Yeah, when you sent it to me when I first started reading it, I thought it was really good, and it really surprised me how deep the character of El KRUDO was, just because his inner dialogue is like so interesting. That was probably my favorite part.
Yeah, thanks, man. I can lose people and I can gain people with that part. I think it's EK2 page 10 where we flip the script a little bit. So I mean, I did that on purpose. I mean, we're trying to you know, show that, you know, that we're trying to do something different. We're not trying to do just an ape war comic, you know, we're trying to do something different. So yeah, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. Some people just want the ape war comic, and if that's what you want, I mean, we have that too. But you know, we're also trying to do something
right there.
We're also trying to do something. Yeah, with this liver popping out. That was all zeros. That was all zeros. That wasn't me. I said, dude, hey, and he threw the liver out. I said, all right, man, I'm down. And the scree, you have to have a scree. It's kind of like the Wilhelm scream. If you're a director, you have to have the scree in every book. So
yeah, I love the sound effects. That's why we named the channel Whack Comics. So I always love when we see that people still using the sound effects. I should have done Scree Comics. That would have been
Rick Joseph does our lettering, and Rick's great. I'm super happy to have him on the team. So check out Rick Joseph. He's at lightamatch.com. So yeah, he's the man.
Is number 4 already done?
Number 4 is 100% done. I just got the last material probably about 9 days ago. It looks great. There's a couple color things I want to do some touch up on. We're going to do that this next couple weeks. So yeah, episode 4 is 100% done. 52 pages of art. All of it's beautiful. I'm really, really proud of everybody's work. And so now we're just kind of raising money to bring it to print. So yeah, so no matter what happens, the book's coming. And yeah, so that's what the campaign for is, to do the print run. But yeah, all the art's done. Like I said, there's a couple color issues. When you bring digital files to printer, you have to be like really specific on how you do that. So that's the only really outstanding work that we're doing for EK4. So yes, I don't see really any problems between us getting EK4 out to people. There's really, very few barriers right now. Printing is always the hardest, of course. So we gave ourselves an extra month to try to deliver on that, because you know how printing is. Printing is pretty tough.
I didn't know it was a double issue. That's super cool. I know I'd seen that it's like an origin story, at least some of it. And that's like the one thing about the first 3 issues. I wouldn't say it was a negative. It was like super surprising to me that we got internal dialogue and then a bunch of stuff outside of what El KRUDO was doing in Vietnam. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if we'll ever like find out more about him. And then this is like his origin. So I'm super excited to see that.
Yeah, it's a fun origin story. I mean, how much fun is that to write? A bunch of apes cruising around military base, causing trouble. So we put this image in EK3 as kind of like a teaser, which is El KRUDO and the Capuchin. Like clearly they're on the same team, and they've like snuck in through the ceiling steal beer from like the officer's fridge.
Such
That's
a
just
good
like
image.
yeah, that's like just a little hint of what it is that we're trying to do. And what I loved about the artist is this is German Nobile, aka Nobi. He's worked on projects with Avatar Press. He's worked on projects with Alan Moore, Kieran Gillian. I mean, the guy's just a pro. And if you notice on this image at the very top, El Crudo already has like a 6-pack stashed away, like they're ready to go. But that wasn't enough, right? There's two of these guys, and that wasn't enough. They had to get more. EK's like El Crudo's like, no man, get the other 6-pack, get the other 6-pack. I mean, I don't know. That's the type of thing when I see this, that's what I think about, and that's they're willing to risk it all for another 6-pack. And it really exaggerates like their arm lengths and like the proportions of the apes. I think that was really well done. So yeah, German Nobile, he has a really big presence in EK4. He has got a lot of pages. So EK4, like I mentioned, it's the origin story, plus a lot of chaos, plus a lot of shenanigans. And so we're bringing Nobi El Crudo, German Nobile style to EK4 a little bit. So yeah, so we're trying to have fun with it. Here's
someone that asked about worldwide shipping, or is it just in the States for this one?
It is. We have one tier that is for worldwide shipping. If anybody wants to do worldwide shipping and we don't provide it in the campaign, please let me know personally. Send me a DM. I'm available at KRUDO L on Twitter and also Instagram. Shoot me a DM and we'll make sure to get you a copy. I want to make sure that we're very discreet about the shipping costs, and they've been changing so much and they've been increasing actually almost every month. So it was really tough to me to predict how much it was going to be in February, because we plan on shipping these out in February. So if you do want a book and you're international, let me know. I'll make sure to get you a physical copy. If not, we do have digital copies available, and at any donation tier, we're going to get you digital copies. So no matter what happens, we'll get you a book. If you want to read the book, we'll get you a book. Just DM me, and if it's a little bit more difficult logistically, we'll figure it out. But just let me know.
Yeah, I was going to say that you initially sent them to me digitally, and they read really well digitally. They looked great. So if you guys just really want to read this story and not worry about shipping or however long it'll take, I definitely recommend getting this. And now that you can get all 4 digitally, that might be even better if you've already missed the first 3. It's a really good story.
Digital's great. The colors are always better when you go digital. It's just always better. So I know that there's a lot of people that like digital, but yeah, if you want a physical copy, just let me know. We'll figure it out.
It's a familiar name here.
Yeah.
So if we get back to this project, we can see all the things. Yeah. All the different tiers you can get at. I've dropped the link as well, everyone. So click on the link for yourself, and you'll be able to see this. What I'm looking at.
So all of our tiers, we try to err on the value side as much as possible. We know that there's a lot of expensive books on Kickstarter, and we don't want to be the most expensive. We want to be, accessible to just about anybody. So hopefully there's a tier there for everybody. All the way from $6 all the way up to $250. So we have different options. So I know there's people that are way more well off than I am. so for them a $10 $25 tier might not, we want to make sure that option's available so people can contribute at any level that they feel comfortable with.
$6 for 4 issues is great as well, to get those digitally and be able to catch up on everything El Crudo. That's great.
Yep. So $6. Get all the digitals. There's like 160. It's going to be like 158 pages, almost 160 pages of content. Yeah. So that's the way. If you like reading digital, or if you just want to, dip your toe into the water, that's definitely a way to see what Crazy Ape Indie Comics is all about.
And only $20 for all 4 issues physically and digitally. That's crazy good.
Yeah, we made that tier because we realized that we do have some like really core fans, and it's awesome that we do. It's super flattering and it's super humbling. But we realized that since it's on Kickstarter, it might be the first time that a lot of people have had access or are aware of El Crudo, our project. So at that tier, the $20 tier, you get 4 books. I mean, EK1, EK2, EK3, EK4 printed floppies, bagged, boarded, and it also comes with. We made a little sticker pack, and we're probably going to send out a pin up with every order. So yeah, it's a pretty legit. It's a pretty legit entry point. So anybody that's new to EK, I mean, for $20, you can get the whole deal. You can get caught up. EK5 is already in production, so we know that we're just going to keep making. We're going to keep making books until people tell us not to. So if you're new to the project, $20 will get you in. It'll get you up to speed. So yeah, we sold a lot of those. We've gotten a lot of pledges at that tier. So yeah, we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that was my next question. If you had upcoming El Crudo stories, or if you had like an end point, or if this is kind of like an ongoing thing.
We definitely have an endpoint. So for me, one of the things about storytelling is the ending is like the most important part about storytelling. I've always felt that way ever since I was a little kid. I remember like Return of the Jedi, for example, or I mean, you name it. There like when you got a solid ending that's gnarly, like that sticks with you. That sticks with the audience. So right when I noticed that EK was starting to get some legs, I took the time and wrote an ending. So yes, there's definitely an ending to this arc. It is currently at 16 issues. I'm thinking of bringing it back to 14 issues just because there's so much work involved. So yes, it's somewhere between 14 and 16 issues, but there's definitely an ending, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm just trying to drive and push and get us to the ending, because at that point, I mean, whatever happens. But for me, it's like EK 1, 2, and 3, and 4. They don't mean anything without the ending. It's all about bringing that conclusion and that story to try to finish our storytelling. Because we are trying to tell a story. So.
Yeah, as much as I like ongoing series, I like when stuff has an ending and it's not just going to go like that. I don't love that.
Serials are fun. I mean, if I do like a good serial of Fantastic Four from 1978, where every issue was like its own thing. That was fun. I have no problem with that. But for us, I mean, for me, there's something particular that we're trying to do with EK, and that's going to take some time to unfold. I really like the setup. I really like the build, and we want to finish it. I want to bring a hammer down, and at the end, it doesn't mean that we can't do anything else. I have a couple other ideas that we might pursue, but for me, being able to tell the full story of El Crudo is the most important part, and that's what we're focusing on producing and delivering. So, so that's what we're working on.
You sound busy with this, but have you ever thought about a different story with different characters at all? Or is this kind of just all you're focused on right now?
No, I definitely have another project that I'm working on. It'll probably come out in January, but right now all I'm focused on is El Crudo 4 and trying to get the word out, because
that's pretty soon though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm a workaholic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, it's maybe detrimental to my personal relationships, but I like to work and I like to make cool stuff. And even if people don't think it's cool, I still like to make crazy stuff. And I will always do that. One of the other things that I'm working on is going to come out probably in early next year. But I mean, right now, I think that El Crudo's, worth people's attention. It's worth my team's attention. My team has put out so much. I mean, German, Andres, Bodie, Rick, Zeros. I mean, I'm out here for all of them. They have poured tons of hours, tons of their talent into this project, and all I'm trying to do is let everybody know what they've done and to try to get eyeballs on their work. So that's what I'm focused on 100%. El Crudo 4 is going to be dope. It's going to be different. It's going to be unlike anything that's I've seen. Really, I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of stuff like this. So that's what we're trying to do is just make something crazy and get it out. So right now we're just trying to get as many eyeballs as possible on the project because we think it deserves it. You know, and if nothing else, the team deserves it. The team deserves me out here, you know, telling everybody how great they are and how much their work deserves attention because it does.
Yeah, I agree. It's super good, and everyone needs to go back. The Kickstarter, if you want to read a good story, like in my one review, I said it's the best war comic I've ever read, and I mean it's not even like a super deep, dark war comic. It's just involving the Vietnam War, which I love. It's so many things at once. So it has an ape.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's a background. It's a background. The war is just a background, a backdrop. For us to explore interesting, crazy stuff. So, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot.
I'm definitely going to be jumping on that $6 tier there and jumping on the 4 issues digitally. Tyler was already hyping it up, and you know I was already keen for it, but you sold it on me even more, and I hope that we've sold some people watching in the chat and some people watching in the replay, and they go back KRUDO as well because it definitely needs more eyes on it.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can to get eyes on it, and then let the chips fall where they may. But that's all we can do is try to show people what we're doing. So thanks so much, man. Thanks, Lee. I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot.
When does the Kickstarter end? Just so everyone knows when they have a time to get on it.
We got 25 days left. So right now we have about like 35 backers. We just broke $1,000. I'd love to get to the $1,500 tier. That's when we start getting into the stretch goals. I think that we're going to continue to build momentum. This is the first time we've ever done any real media. I don't really have ever really. I mean, I tweet and stuff a little bit, but I haven't really been very active on trying to get the word out. I'm going to try to get the word out super hard. But yeah, anybody who's at all interested, don't worry about it getting funded. EK4 is going to happen. We're going to print it. And if you log on it, if you get on it, pledge at any tier, we're going to get you a book regardless. So that's like the main thing. It's like, hey, if you're at all interested, we're trying to make it available and trying to make it accessible to everybody.
So it's like beginning of December, guys. So if you can't get it right now, you have to right at the beginning of December to jump on it.
And we're only going to print as many books as we need to satisfy this campaign. So that means that anything else that's printed after this is going to have second printing on the inside cover because we have to do that. So it's going to have. So yeah. So now is the time to get in at the first printing. If I know there's some people that are interested in collecting and stuff like that. So everything else after this campaign is going to have the word second printing on it.
Have you got plans for a hardcover or something when it's all collected or when it's like halfway collected?
Yeah, that's my vision is, trade paperbacks and like I picture a book, so somebody that can actually pick it up and read the whole thing all the way through. That's what I'm driving towards.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, there you go, Lee. You can get that. I know you're all about the hardcovers.
Definitely. I like to put it up on my shelf and look at it forever.
We're about 5 years away at this pace, so
It'll fly by. It'll fly by.
Yeah, the digital copies will tide me over, no doubt. Until then,
right on, man.
All right, well, we can start wrapping this up.
Well, tell me what you guys are doing. What are you guys trying to do with Whack Comics? I've seen a little bit of your stuff. I've seen a little bit of your stuff, but tell me about what are you guys working on?
Thanks, man. We just doing some fun shit, doing things differently. We're working on a couple more episodes of Whack Comics coming out. We're working on one at the moment, Finger Guns. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Finger Guns for sure.
You've read Finger Guns?
Yeah, I've heard of Finger Guns. Yeah, that's a hot item right now.
Yeah, that was a fun time. It's almost finished getting that all together, but we've got a 200 subscriber giveaway next week that we're doing. Going to give away a bunch of Batman comics signed by David Finch.
Nice. I see you guys are at 254 subscribers.
Yeah,
Not bad.
not
Congratulations
bad.
on that.
Thanks, man. We're slowly getting there. We've just been doing the channel since July, so
Wow.
not too long, but I reckon we're growing at a pretty good pace, and we're building a pretty awesome community.
Ever since I jumped in and started helping Whack, we've gone way up.
Definitely. Before then, it was just a lonely Aussie in the corner, you know.
I don't
But
know.
now-
I haven't seen the value Tyler brings yet, personally.
No. I'm working on it. I try.
I love how he thinks he's the main variable. That sounds pretty fitting.
But yeah, we've got a bunch of fun stuff planned. Always having fun.
All right, on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a
good time.
subscriber. I'm a subscriber, so I look forward to seeing your guys' stuff. Keep making cool stuff. I'll check it out.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Shapes. Really appreciate it. That's cool.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, we something really cool. We did. We got the logo you see on the top right corner there.
Yeah.
We had an interview with Hillary Jenkins, the colorist from she did King of Nowhere and Black Badge and Grass Kings, a bunch of really cool stuff. But we've commissioned her to color that logo for us too, and we're
just gonna bring your talents to that logo.
Yeah, right.
I like that you laugh at that.
No, that's a beautiful thing that you're gonna have. You're gonna have a total legit pro come in on that title and bring their color talents to that.
I know. I can't believe it. Honestly, it's much.
Yeah,
I drew that.
Cool.
I did that little silly drawing, and when I did it, I never thought that I'd get a Eisner award-winning artist fucking to color it. You know.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe. It's gonna look so cool.
You made it, man. You made it. You made it, Lee. No, congrats. I look forward to seeing you guys around. I mean, the indie comic community is definitely growing. It's definitely strong community. There's some super cool people around. I'm glad you guys are involved. I mean, the fact that I could just shoot Tyler a book and have him read it and him be like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool." I mean, that was that was awesome for me. Just having somebody else read the book and actually kind of understand and get and appreciate what we're trying to do. That's what it's all about, is sharing ideas, sharing creativity, and and how cool is this world right now? I mean, you got all these platforms, information technology, and all this creativity can shine. So I think that it's a bright spot for the human condition, and we're in a platinum age of indie comics and indie media. So I'm stoked you guys are around. You guys are really positive, super nice guys. So thanks so much for chatting with me and let me talk about our Crazy Ape indie comics. And I look forward to seeing you guys around the community for a little while.
Yeah, I'm really happy you found me, because obviously I can't find everything, and it's like I get to read stuff that I would have never discovered, and then hopefully I get to help you out too if I like it and give a good review, and hopefully someone else will discover it and check it out, find you on Kickstarter or whatever.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. Like, I find some awesome stuff. Like, people are doing great stuff all over the world, any hour of the day. So yeah, it's super cool. I love the community, and I love the positivity. So yeah, so keep making rad content, and we'll keep making crazy books, and yeah, it's super fun. So we're really excited about the future, and and EK4 our EK4 projects right now. So check that out, and we appreciate you checking it out.
No worries. Before we go, do you want to tell the people where they can find you, like on social media, and where they can follow you for more updates on El KRUDO as it's coming?
Yep. So I'm mainly active on Twitter, the cesspool that is Twitter. It's fun. I like I like the craziness that's on Twitter. I don't know how it is for my mental health, but you can find me there, and it's at KRUDO L, KRUDOEL, and on Instagram as well, at KRUDO L. So we have the same at. And then we have our website is elkrudo.com. So check out elkrudo.com, and you can always email me. I'm Manny at elkrudo.com. So check us out. Our Kickstarter is live. You can search El KRUDO on Kickstarter and you'll find us. And I posted a couple in the chat. But yeah, I'm around. I try not to be too hard to find. I try to be available. So yeah, any comments or questions or, anything, hit me up. We'll definitely be happy to engage and respond accordingly. So thank you so much.
No worries, man. Thanks, Shapes. Thanks, Shapes, everyone, for joining us live in the chat. And thanks, everyone that's watched on the replay. You want to say anything before we go, Tyler?
Nope.
See you later, everyone.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.